Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
The odds of hitting one of those gigantic lottery jackpots for you or me would be very, very small, of course. But some people still buy the tickets because it's fun to dream. But of course, when somebody does win that huge jackpot, we often hear crazy stories. And so there are people out there who go, wait, if I win, I'm going to take steps to keep other people from finding out I won. Some states, you can't do much. They'll actually hold a press conference and say what your name is. Other states say, no, if you want to, you can do this anonymously. So one guy out there apparently took great pains to keep his name from getting out there. And then his baby mama, as they say, his baby mama, went and told his family about the money that he'd won. So now he's suing her. Because apparently one of the great pains he went to keep the word from getting out was that he had her sign a non-disclosure agreement in exchange for some sort of payment. So he basically said, look, I'll take care of you financially here to some extent. We don't know what extent it was, but there's an agreement. And you promise not to tell anybody that I hit the mega millions. And he now says she told. So he's suing her. So headline from thedailybeast.com, written by Justin Rorlick. $1 billion Mega Millions winner sues baby mama for telling family about payout. The man's from Maine. He hit the $1.35 billion Mega Millions jackpot. He's suing the mother of his daughter for allegedly revealing to his parents that their son, him, had come into the life-altering windfall. The recipient of the fourth largest lottery payout in American history has never been identified publicly, and little is known about him. And yes, he filed the lawsuit anonymously also, which his attorney managed to do, and you can do that too. The unnamed man bought the winning ticket at Hometown Gas and Grill in Lebanon, Maine, and chose to receive the prize in a one-time lump sum payment of $723 million, $564,144, but $723, okay? They say it would be close to $500 million, or about $500 million after taxes, but of course, I'm not sure how the state taxes work and the feds and all that stuff. But now the man's demanding a fine from his baby mama because she told his parents about the newfound billionaire status, although, again, we know the billionaire status became half billionaire status, and thus violating a non-disclosure agreement that she had signed to keep his newfound wealth strictly hush-hush until the year 2032. So basically said, look, for 10 years, just don't tell anybody. It's according to a lawsuit filed in federal court. Lawsuit says, as a result of defendant's unauthorized disclosure of protected subject matter, and the protected subject matter, of course, is the idea that he'd won the lotto, other third parties are now in possession of the protected subject matter, including his sister. So he alleges that she told his father and stepmother, and that they then told his sister, and if the baby mama hadn't done this, no one else would know except for her. So reached for comment on Wednesday, the man's attorney declined to provide any additional details about his client or the case. His significant other is listed as Sarah Smith in the suit, but they were unable to reach her. And the question is Sarah Smith her real name, or is that a John Doe type situation? Experts do recommend keeping a big lottery win a secret, such as changing your phone number, setting up a P.O. box, and maybe hiring an attorney to handle the money and maybe set you up in a trust of some sort. But do what you can to keep your name out of the spotlight. Now, the man here beat the staggering 1 in 302 million Mega Millions odds and became instantly rich when his numbers came up on Friday, January 13th of this year. He received the payout via a wire transfer, and that was made to an LLC called Lacoma Island Investments. So apparently he knew he'd won, went to somebody, said, look, create this entity, and then you can ask the lottery to pay that entity. So the winner is thoughtfully considering the best uses of the life-changing prize, a representative for the man said in a news release issued by the Maine State Lottery back at the time. Meanwhile, Deputy Director of Maine Bureau of Alcohol, Beverages, and the Lottery Operation told the Associated Press, then, I understand why someone would want to remain anonymous with this kind of money. We wish them well and hope they do good things with it. Now, in the lawsuit, the man says he went to great lengths to keep his win a secret, even from those closest to him. The only person who knew, according to the suit, was the mother of his child. And of course, that's going to be necessary if he's going to, take care of his child and decides he wants to use some of this money. It might become obvious that he's got a little more money than he had before. You don't know. But the point is that he told her, but you can see why he did that. Due to the unique safety, security, and privacy concerns associated with winning the lottery, defendant agreed to enter into a non-disclosure agreement with John Doe to promote the safety and security of John Doe, the defendant, and their daughter, and to avoid the irreparable harm of allowing the media or the public in general to discover John Doe's identity, physical location, and assets. I mean, I remember when a guy in Michigan hit the lottery. This is years and years and years ago, but one of the big ones. And the press just staked out his house. And I remember seeing interviews with the guy down by his mailbox. He'd come to get his, down to get his mail, and there's a bunch of journalists and reporters standing right there. And occasionally he'd talk to him, occasionally he wouldn't. And they'd show footage of him walking, grabbing his mail and walking away, and they're yelling questions at him. So I don't blame this guy at all for wanting to keep quiet. In exchange for her agreement, Doe promised Smith support and ongoing security resources. The suit goes on. She also agreed not to say anything to anyone other than an authorized recipient about the man having won the lottery or his improbable riches, information that she would necessarily obtain in the maintenance and support of the daughter. So his whole point is, look, I had to tell her, the mother of my child, but I don't want her telling anybody else because, number one, I don't want my privacy wrecked. I also want to make sure my daughter is okay, because if somebody finds out, hey, that little girl, her dad's got $500 million. So Smith signed the NDA in February and acknowledged it would remain in effect until 2032, which is when the daughter turns 18. The NDA defined authorized recipients as the daughter, as well as his lawyers, financial advisors, accountants, or others who need to know. Anyone else would require the man's permission in writing according to the lawsuit. So there's a little bit more to the story, but that's basically it. Some people are going to say, Steve, how do we know that the daughter didn't say anything? Because it looks like she's about 8 years old right now, and she's allowed to know. So what if the mother told the daughter, and the daughter started telling people? Well, that's possible, but we're speculating, because the lawsuit says this man's got information and believes that she, the mother, told his parents. Now, we could try to start analyzing the family relationships here, where he doesn't feel comfortable telling his own parents that he hit the lottery. But many people out there are going to go, oh, wait, no, I understand that completely. Every family is different in its own way. Every family is different. And so who knows why he doesn't want them to know. It's also possible that he's going to tell them in his own due time. So let's suppose that you bought a lottery ticket and you hope you win, but you can't count on it. You don't literally start spending the money before they draw the numbers. You don't do that. So you win. You got the golden ticket. You win. So wisely, you contact somebody who can do this for you and say, I want to set up an LLC and I want the money put in the LLC and I want to take certain steps to protect the money, my identity, blah, 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 blah. You do all that stuff. And then you decide, I want to buy a new house. Many people would go, I want to buy a new house. Just why not? You can afford it now. Many people would want to buy some nice things, maybe a couple cars. Many people go, I'd like to travel. Maybe I'll fly to Europe first class. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with that kind of money. And so some people might say, I don't want anyone knowing at first. But once you've got your new place, your new toys, you've done some traveling and you're settled in, you might go, you know something? I can start telling people now, especially with the new house. Because if your old house was smaller and more accessible to people with telephoto lenses and microphones and who work for the press, It might be that your new place affords you a little more security. And I've heard of people who actually went and bought a house someplace where they could get more security, such as in like a gated community. That makes complete sense. So you wouldn't want the information to get out before that, but afterwards you might not care. But the point is the guy goes, look, I've got this information. And by the way, to the mother, you don't have to sign the NDA. But the question is, how much money is he required to provide her and the daughter to get by? Now, obviously, the mother can go to court and go, I heard he just came into some money. I want to up that child support a little bit. He may have said, I'll give you even more if you're just a little more closed-mouthed about it. So who knows? But the allegation is that he told the mother, and the mother told the parents then told the sister. And here's your problem. The mother signed the NDA. The parents and the sister did not. They can now tell anybody they want. And that's what he was trying to avoid doing. So we'll see what happens with the story. The big question is, will he be identified because of this litigation? We'll find out. From the Daily Beast, and Justin Rorlick wrote it, $1 billion Mega Millions winner sues baby mama for telling family about payout. And Brad sent it to me. Thanks a lot. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. To be or not to be? That's not really a question.